In PowerPoint, the presentation view can be adjusted while you edit your presentation. See how to resize the size of each display section to change the amount of space taken up by each element on your screen. While editing your presentation, you might want to change the size of the slide pane. To do this, move your cursor over the dividing line between the slide pane and the main slide view, and then you can hold your click and drag your cursor to the right to increase the size of the slide pane, and then lift your click. In this way, you can see the contents of the thumbnails more clearly. If you want to decrease the size, click again, hold your click, and drag your cursor to the left. If you drag your cursor all the way to the left, you can collapse the slide pane entirely. If you want to expand it again, click on the expand button at the top, and then you can adjust the size as you wish. You can also change the size of the notes section. To open the notes section, I'm going to click on the notes button in the status bar. Depending on how many notes you want to add to your different slides, you can change the pane by moving your cursor over the divider line. Click, hold your click, and drag your cursor upwards to give more space to the notes section, or you can drag it downwards to give less space. If while you're editing your presentation you're using comments, such as I am with the comments pane open, you can also modify the comments pane in different ways. To do this, click on the task pane options button, and you'll see a menu of different options. If you select size, automatically your cursor will be selected, and when you move your cursor to the left, so you can give more room to your comments pane if you wish, or if you drag it towards the right, you can make it smaller. And then you can click when you're happy with the size of the pane. You can also move your pane within the editing interface. To do this, click on the task pane options button again and select move. Your cursor will then look like the move cursor. When you drag your cursor, this will unpin the pane and make it much smaller, and in this way you can reposition it and then lift your click when you're happy with the position. If you want to pin it back, double click on the pane and you'll see it's pinned back to where it was. If you want to close the pane, click on the task pane options button and select close. You can also change the display options for PowerPoint by going into the PowerPoint options. To do this, click on the File tab, and in the File Backstage view, scroll up the menu on the left and select Options. The PowerPoint options window will then open. In the General section, if you scroll up to the top, you'll see the User Interface options. In the User Interface options section, the first options are when you're using multiple displays. The default option is optimized for best appearance, and this means text and images will look sharp on your screen. You can disable this setting if you wish, if you're experiencing problems such as the size of text, for example. And to do that, you can click on the radio button next to Optimize for compatibility. If you select this option, however, you will be required to restart the program, and you also might notice that some text and images appear blurry. Below that, you have the option to show the mini toolbar on selection. If you don't want that to be the case, you can click on the checkbox button to remove the mini toolbar. I'm not going to do that myself because I think it's useful to have the mini toolbar when I select text. Below that, you have the Enable Live Preview option. This will allow you to see previews of options before you select them. And below that, you have the Collapse the Ribbon Automatically option. If you want that to be the case, you can click on the checkbox button. This can be useful, for example, if you want to maximize the space while you're editing your presentation. And finally, you can choose whether you want to see screen tips or not by clicking on that drop-down menu button. You can either keep it as show feature descriptions in screen tips, don't show feature descriptions in screen tips, or don't show screen tips at all. I'm going to leave it as show feature descriptions, and I'm just going to click away. I'm now going to go to the advanced options by clicking on advanced in the menu on the left. In the advanced section, I'm going to go to the display section. So here you can configure the default view for when you open a document. For example, you can show the number of recent presentations and how many recent presentations you can quickly access. If you want that to be the case, click on the checkbox button, and you can either keep the number as 4, or click on the upward arrow to increase the number, or the downward arrow to decrease the number. I'm going to keep it as 4. You can also choose whether you see shortcut keys in screen tips. You could show the vertical ruler if you wish. You can also choose the view that all documents will use by clicking on the drop-down menu button. I'm going to keep the option the view saved in the file so that each time I open my document, the view that I last saved and configured will appear. I'm just going to click away and save settings by clicking on OK. So in this video, you've seen how to adjust the presentation display view with PowerPoint.